In this life, there are only really three guarantees, those being death, taxes, and a niche hobby that you pick up and it inevitably consumes the entirety of your adult life. And that can be a number of things. It can be fishing, it could be skateboarding, it could be softball. But for me personally, this hobby has been bowling. You may have noticed here on the channel a few bowling videos. Bowling has really been my hobby, and I remember when I was first getting into it, I would go on YouTube and I would scour the web and try and find videos on how to improve my bowling form and how to bowl over 100. Not to brag or anything, but I now have a high game of 235. Watching these videos, I remember I came across one video in particular, a match between Jason Belmonte, who is one of the greatest bowlers of our generation, of course, revolutionized two-hand bowling, and was a match against a guy by the name of Pete Weber. Now, even if you're not familiar with the name of Pete Weber, you probably are familiar with the quote.
Strike to claim it, a strike to claim it, and he got it!
That is right, I did it! That's number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am!
And of course, before I got into bowling, I didn't truly understand the magnitude of this quote. And watching this game, I truly understood the character of Pete Weber. He would complain about the approach. He would complain about Jason Belmonte leaving his towel on his balls. The little simple things like that truly made Pete Weber the bad boy of bowling. And hearing him being a bad boy, but he's just complaining about little things, you might think, oh, this guy's just a crybaby. But you'd be very mistaken. He has won 10 titles in his 37 tours. He is a Triple Crown champion. He has won 5 U.S. Opens. He is truly one of the most talented bowlers of all time. This is the bad boy of bowling, Pete Weber. In the early parts of Weber's career, there was no denying his talent. And he made sure that everybody knew how damn good he was. He won 10. He was the youngest player to win 10 titles at just 24 years old. However, during this time, he would struggle with substance abuse issues, such as cocaine and alcohol, living a rock star style life. And eventually, he would get help for his, the cocaine issues, but he would still struggle with alcohol abuse for many more years. And during this time, his reputation was tarnished, and it got so bad to the point where in 1987 he would win the Tournament of Champions, and he would do all these other things, and he would still be denied of Bowler of the Year status, one of the greatest honors in our great sport. After the 87 season, Weber would enter a bit of a slump period. He wouldn't do as good as he was. He was dealing with some personal issues. However, he would shake back in the 1997 season, winning 2 titles, and kind of revitalizing his career in a way. However, in the 2000s, the PBA was sold, ushering in a brand new era. That kind of scary for someone who's been there, who's really done the thing. However, this change would actually help the older Weber. You see, during this era, the owners were trying to market bowling and trying to sell the fact that bowling is cool. Really it's not. Bowling itself is not very cool. It's throwing a ball down a lane and going back and sitting down. However, that is where the man, the myth, the bad boy, the action bowler, Pete Weber, comes into play. You see, Pete Weber had always been known for his outbursts, his yelling, giving him what's really on his mind, really speaking out. When you're trying to market it, much in the light that Conor McGregor kind of grew the UFC by loudmouthing, Pete Weber did this exact thing for the PBA. Of course, I'm not trying to compare Pete Weber to Conor McGregor. That would be insulting to Pete Weber. Now, what does it mean to be an action bowler? What does it mean to be the action bowler? Well, you see, Weber would earn this reputation by his loud outbursts. He would constantly antagonize his competitors.
Revenge on Wes Malott after Wes beat him in position round last night.
Yelling at him, really giving him a piece of his mind. And it didn't stop at just his opponents. Oh no, the people in the crowd, cameramen, people taking pictures on his approach.
Do not flash the camera in my approach. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Distracting the great Pete Weber? Are you insane? And of course, all these outbursts led to one of the most iconic quotes, not just in bowling history, but in sports history. Who do you think you are? I am. This clip is just synonymous with bowling. It is. Bowling is here. This quote is up here, dude. This quote is etched into every single bowler's mind. The thing is, if he wasn't saying it to his opponent, no, that would be too logical. He was yelling at a 12-year-old kid in the stands. As legend has it, this kid, he was rooting for his opponent. And Weber, after getting a strike to win it, the only way he can win is get a strike. He gets the strike. What he's trying to say is, who do you think you are rooting against? I am the man in this tournament. However, in this just haze of euphoria, who do you think you are? I am are the only words that this man can summon. And fucking hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I mean, Pete Weber's iconicness doesn't stop at just this one quote. He recently retired from full-time PBA tour. He actually just retired altogether at the Pete Weber Classic in Missouri. However, I mean, it was his last throw, and he said,
I appreciate all the fans I had. Hate me or love me. You watched. That's all you could do. Thank you.
Dude, this isn't a fucking action movie. This is bowling, dog. You do not have to be this fucking cool. So now that I've kind of explained, who Pete Weber is and what he's about, I think you can truly agree with me here that Pete Weber is not only the GOAT of bowling, he is the quintessential sports GOAT. And the fact that you don't respect him as much as a Tom Brady or a Michael Jordan is outlandish. Pete Weber, he is truly one of a kind. Pete Weber is the man. And I don't really have much else to say about it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below and tell me what's the highest game that you've bowled. I am Weehart Bobby, and this was a video.